Welcome back to the channel. I'm Rochelle. This is Brampton Gardener, and this is my July garden tour. So let's just jump right in. Dexter would like to say welcome to the backyard, and I hope you enjoyed today's garden tour. So this is the container set that is right outside the back door. The left container has some impatiens and one of my only surviving butterfly pea vines. So hopefully it's gonna do its thing. I have got all kinds of stuff growing in these containers. I sprinkled some seeds in there. I think it was some lettuce. Can't even remember. This huge container has an Olapoka tomato at the back and then 2 Tiny Tim tomatoes on the side. And I think I stuck in a coleus. I don't know. I put all kinds of stuff in this container because it was a huge pot and they were super tiny at the time. And now everything is just going bonkos. And we have some lovely cherry tomatoes in there, and Dexter gets a treat. So the next set of containers I have here are the garden towers. These all have herbs and dwarf tomatoes. I will do a separate video going over all of the different varieties of tomatoes I'm growing, as well as the peppers, because they're just way too much to do all in one video. But as you can see, these garden towers are just bursting at the seams. They're doing absolutely amazing. The petunias and the nasturtiums up top are super happy. So this again has several different varieties of tomatoes and lots of different herbs. I've got several different kinds of basil in there, I believe, and some mint and oregano, I think it is. Over here we're checking out the peppers. We've got some nice New Mexico 6 peppers, habanada peppers. These are the Chabansky peppers, I believe. I think they're supposed to be picked green like that, and then you pickle them. So that's the plan. And I don't even remember which peppers those are. Oh, Dexter's pretty sure he smelled another fresh tomato down there. You're gonna have to wait, buddy. No more tomatoes for you right now, okay? Yeah, sorry about that, dude. Here is Tomato Alley, and it is going bonkers. If you watched the video from just a couple weeks ago when I tied them up with the string, I cannot get over how tall they are. I think one of them is about 7 feet tall. Over here on the left, I have a bunch of greens and herbs. I have lettuces down kind of at the bottom, hoping to get shaded out by the scarlet runner beans, which are going crazy. They're really taking over. Also getting some peas. So I do have a harvest video that will be coming out soon. I'm finally getting some peas, which is really nice. No beans on the scarlet runner bean plant yet, but there will be soon. I have beans over on the... This hanging basket is doing pretty good, considering the squirrels like to use it as a swing. So when they come down from the tree across the gazebo and they like to jump across this arbor, you can see up there at the top there is a black square, and that is a squirrel nest. So yeah, they come down and they use my planter as a swing, and it has some mint in it and hopefully some cucamelons. Now I planted some cucumbers along here, and I cannot remember exactly which ones they are at the moment. I'll have to go back and watch my original video, but I have lots of flower buds on them, and I actually did go in and self-pollinate a couple of the female flowers that I saw blooming, because I was like, you know what, I really want to get some cucumbers on this plant, so I'm going to give them a little bit of a head start. Over here are my onions. I don't know what is going on there. The lettuce is bolting, and I might just pull it out. I was going to let it go to seed, but then I'm thinking I got to get some more sunlight on those onions. Over here is my Olapokas and my eggplant. So this is the orange eggplant. I'm so excited about it. I'm not exactly sure when it's ripe though. I'm gonna have to double check on that because I don't want to pull it too soon. But that's the only one on there so far. The Olapoka is really putting on the display of tomatoes, but none of those are ripe yet. Now I've got a bit of an issue with my nasturtiums. They are literally taking over. So I did not expect the climbing nasturtiums to climb the way they have climbed. Like, they are insane. Like, it's amazing. I can't wait until they start blooming. I'm really excited to see that. But the regular nasturtiums, like, look at them. They're, oh my gosh, they're ridiculous. They're taking over the entire container. I planted so many other things in there, you can't even see the rest of the plant. So let me spin back around here and we will catch up some of these planters I have here. I'm really excited to see these elephant ears. I thought they were completely dead, and then I had these tiny little sprouts that were still in the container, so I tucked them in here with the canna lilies and some calla lilies. I've got lots of peas coming on here, so I did harvest those recently, so that was nice. Down below, I've had some earwig damage on a lot of my coleus, unfortunately. Over there you can see I have a couple more little tiny elephant ears that I found. And then this, what is this? I don't know. It's like Cousin It planter full of nasturtiums. Down below we have some coleus and some more peppers. And I believe that's my poblano. It's not doing so hot, but this container. So after I water it every day, I kind of pull the sides down like this on the nasturtiums to try and get light sunlight back in behind. I have petunias in there. I have the grasses. I have the asparagus fern, 4 o'clocks, cannas. Like, there's a lot of stuff going on in that container, but nothing is getting much of a chance because of the enormous nasturtiums, which are beautiful, so I don't really hate on them, but I'm just like, oh my goodness, they're out of control. So this little section here at the front, this is the section I actually did weed it out, but there's a few more pieces of crabgrass coming up in here. We do have a bit of clover I'm trying to keep out, but it has self-seeded somehow with a ton of purslane, which I'm not mad about. Purslane is a delicious and very nutritious herb, and it just seemed to really come in. So you can see it's kind of intermixed. Oh, hi Dex. It's intermixed in with that ground cover. So it's kind of hard to differentiate quickly in a video, but there is a bit of a difference there. My container garden over here is doing really well. These are the little planters that I got at the Dollar Tree last year, and I put beans in it again, and it does dry out. I have to make sure to keep an eye on the water in there, but the beans really seem to enjoy it, and they get lots of sunlight in that spot. Something was eating in the edges of those. I'm not sure what exactly that was. Poppies, the California poppies here are just about done, but the rest of the show is starting to take off with the echinaceas coming along, these purple cone flowers. They're really pretty right now this time of year. And just above them is the Shasta daisies that are going crazy. So I do have to remember to come in and prune these back halfway through the year. It's supposed to help give a second flush of flowers. Then I have my orange lilies. These are different from the other lilies down below. These big tall ones are lovingly referred to as ditch lilies. They are very common, but you know what? They give some nice height and texture to the garden and a splash of color. The hollyhocks, oh my gosh, they are absolutely stunning right now. Can't believe how pretty they are. Down here, these are the little tiny seedlings that you watched me transplant in the previous video. These were all self-seeded amaranth, and I just went up on the top of the hill and I tucked them all in. Now down below, I have the world's shortest gomphrena, so I don't know why that's not gone any bigger. Back down to the bottom of the hill, and this monster of a planter. The containers themselves are huge, and you can't even see them anymore. Down below we have some calendula and some forget-me-nots that just self-seeded, so not bad about that either. They can hang out right down there. And oh yeah, there's one of the nasturtium vines. They're like 4 feet long now. Like, they've just completely taken over. They've even like outgrown all of the other vines in there. It's crazy. I do love them though. But yeah, so inside this planter I have some petunias. I have, as you can see, the prince tuck grass. I think I have a few coleus tucked in there as well, and then my millet, the jasper I believe it's called, that I grew from seed as well. That was it's doing really well. It's starting to go to seed. I think it's being a little messy, but I do come in here and kind of tousle everything around just to try and give it some sun. My poppies, so these are finally blooming and they're absolutely beautiful, and somehow they managed to pretty much drop all of the petals right before I did my garden tour. So I do have some more pictures I'll pop in at the end of the video with some pictures of them actually in bloom. My cosmos are doing really well. They're blooming like crazy, but they're very short. I don't know what's going on there. The yarrow seems to be doing okay. I hope to see that coming back soon. This teepee here is going to be covered soon with morning glories that are coming up. And the transplanted hibiscus has come back up and looks pretty darn good. I got my straw flowers and calendula coming along this side. I'm really happy with the color of these straw flowers. They're so pretty. I can't remember if these are the ones I grew from seed myself, or if they were just ones that I that self-seeded there, because I usually get a bunch of self-seeding ones coming back too. So not exactly sure which ones they are. And these Sweet Williams, the Sweet Williams have done really well as well. Look how pretty that little Cosmo is. I think I just ordered some more Cosmo seeds too, so that'll be exciting to see to see what different varieties. I have sunflowers, and then this giant patch of Sweet Williams, which had got knocked down by all the rain we had. So unfortunately, shortly after this video, I did have to come in and cut them all down, but that's another video for another day. We won't think about that right now. We will just enjoy their beautiful splash of color in the garden. But they are kind of crushing the snapdragons, which is unfortunate. Behind the snapdragons, in front of the lilac tree, are my sunflowers, which are just about ready to grow. And oh, look at this. This is the Rudbeckia that self-seeded or came back. I don't know if it survived or what, but that was really exciting to see that. I hadn't even noticed that. It just started blooming. Snapdragons, these are all ones that came back. I did not sow any snapdragons myself this year, so they all either came back or self-seeded. I have more tiny gomphrena over there. Nice, beautiful sunflower. Hope to see that open up soon and no one steals it from me. Gotta beat the squirrels and chipmunks to the sunflowers anymore. Back in here, I have feverfew at the back. I do have a lovely borage on the left-hand side. There's the feverfew. I don't know why my gomphrena never gets any taller, but that's what my gomphrena has been doing the last several years. It's blooming like crazy, but just not a lot of height. I can't really use it in bouquets. This is my evening primrose that's self-seeded, and the hummingbirds love it. Up here is the edible chrysanthemum. This is one plant. I had one edible chrysanthemum seed that germinated. I had one plant, and I put it in this big pot, and oh my goodness, it is happy and it is going nuts. Over here, I have 3 tomatoes along here, and they are all the same. They are all the dwarf chocolate Tasmanian tomatoes. Here is my yellow squash. I was excited to see that little baby down there, but it was not pollinated apparently. Unfortunately, my cucumbers along here are toast. I don't think they're going to make it. But there's my zucchini. It's doing all right. And then over here we have, over in the corner where oh gosh, what are they called? Garden huckleberries. Yes, garden huckleberries. Over on this side, oh, my beautiful hollyhocks. I had a giant patch several years ago, and they all bloomed like crazy. I did not have any blooms from any hollyhocks last year, even though every year I grow a few in my winter sowing containers and I plant them out. So sometimes they take 2 to 3 years, I'm finding, in my garden to properly acclimate and bloom. We have some lovely status tucked in there, some purples and pinks, lots of poppies that are seeding all over the place because I went and just shook out their seeds last year. Calendula has self-seeded as well, so you'll see that coming up tucked in. A couple random lupins. These petunias are really doing well, and some zinnias. We got one of my first blooms are just about ready to open, and these cone flowers are really showing off. Down here we have some more calendula, the peonies. I finally decided to put my little planter right here, so hopefully those plants will take off. They're looking pretty sad right now. That is my first ever Green Envy zinnia. Really excited about that. And then this is going to be just a massive amount of 4 o'clocks. Each plant gets huge and will bloom like crazy. So I'm really excited to see this take off. And oh, look what I found. I found some Bells of Ireland self-seeded along here. So there's a handful of them kind of all sprinkled in that part of the bed. So hopefully we'll get to see that. They'll get bigger this year. And these, I believe, are the papaya nasturtiums that are doing really well. This little planter has the nasturtiums. It had the canna lily. I stuck one of my butterfly pea vines on there and it is not growing at all. I think it just hasn't been warm enough. But if you watched my last video where I was out cutting the flowers for the bouquet, you can see that some of the sections, especially this lower right-hand section, really has just jumped. Up to the deck, we have some hanging baskets here. Got lots of impatiens that are growing. I am loving the polka dot plant. That is really exciting. And lobelia and more impatiens, coleus. So keep in mind, I grew all of these from seed. Oh, and my black-eyed Susan vine has been just blooming like crazy. Last year I hardly got any blooms, and my vines this year have already been blooming a ton. Over in this little container here on this side of the deck, it's looking really sad. I did have something else in it and it just did not like it, but I have one of the pink polka dot plants and it's doing really well. And then we're going to spin around to this side. This planter has been super happy. I've had tons of blooms, like I said, on that vine, and then also these impatiens are going crazy. So it's really nice. It's filling in. It gets afternoon sun. Not a ton because there is a lot of shade coming in from the tree and the vines there, but these planters are doing really good. I might have to pull some of those nasturtiums back to get some more sunshine to the peppers, but those pepper plants are really happy. Out to the front, this container, oh my goodness, there's a lot of color. It's doing well. It's happy. But again, the nasturtium is just taking over the front, and the cannas at the back and that coleus are going to have to up their game pretty quickly to give me some nice height back there, because right now it's looking kind of off-centered. This planter is really happy. We got the nasturtiums, we got all different kinds of pansies in there, and the lobelia is just really nice and bright. I'm really loving all the different pansies in there this year. I don't know how long they're going to last because they don't really like it too hot, but we'll see. And this impatient is just enormous on this side. Some of the colors, it's kind of an interesting combo, but it's working. This planter is a little abstract, I would say. I don't know what's going on with it. And then out to the front, I have to say this is the happiest I've been with the front garden in a very long time. It has just really filled in. Everything is blooming. Everything's doing well. We've got a really nice selection of colors and plants and textures, and it's a delight. Every time I pull into the driveway, I get to see all these pretty little flowers. And a lot of the things that I've grown from seed, we have the Melva there. It's doing really well. The hollyhocks have been blooming. I think this is their third year as well, but every year I plant more, so I'm not exactly sure. I'm in love with these pink lilies. Unfortunately, I was not as on the ball with the lily beetles as I should have been this year, and they really did a number on the leaves, but they bloomed beautifully, so I can't complain too much, but I did take care of them today. They're gone. No more lily beetles, well, until tomorrow, apparently, but yeah. Urgh. The bane of my existence. They frustrate me so much. I did also pull off some cabbage worms today. Had a few of those on there. So they've been nibbling a bit on the cabbage and the coleus. But all in all, this planter has done really well. It's really filled in. I did go in and, clean it up a bit, pull out some of those dead leaves, and I'm just really surprised how well it's still doing, this far into the season. Snapdragons are blooming like crazy. Again, I did not sow any of these all self-seeded. This container has really done well, and the globalium are still there, still happy. We've got the hollyhocks here at the back, and the windmill, of course, again, is trying to kill these hollyhocks. I don't know why they have it in for them. I don't know why I keep planting really tall hollyhocks next to all my spinners, but it just kind of keeps happening. Down here we have the Sweet Williams, we have more lilies, and they're going to be blooming soon. There's just lots to see, lots to check out, lots of different colors, and just really, really happy with it. It's turned out really well. So thank you so much for joining me on my garden tour, and I can't wait to see what August looks like. Everything is just going to be exploding. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe, and we'll see you in the next video. Bye. you.